The mental pain of downsizing. The hardest part about downsizing is throwing stuff away. There is a huge mental attachment to things that we acquire, especially if they're in good shape, especially if they still have the tags on them, if they're new. And what I've learned in my personal journey of downsizing, I owned a house for 15 years and I had collected a lot of clothes and uh, not a lot of collectibles, but I had a lot of things. I had baseball card collections since I was young. I had things, hand-me-downs. But clothes is the number one thing, and just miscellaneous stuff, but specifically clothes with the tags on them. I remember trying to get to a point where I can live a simple downsized life, and I can remember going in my closet, cleaning my closet, wanting to throw stuff out, but mentally I just couldn't get past that barrier. It was like I'd put it in the trash bag, I put it down, like I can't throw it out, I can't throw it out. And I'm not even the type of person that I feel like I'm going to need it in the future. There was just like a magnet, like your mind is a magnet to keep stuff. And I'm not a hoarder. I've never been a hoarder. I don't, but I'm just sharing with you. I mean, and I'm talking about most people are not hoarders, but most people have too much stuff. It's said that, 70%, 70 to 80% of the stuff that you have in your closet or in your home, you don't use on a regular basis. So you don't have to be a hoarder on like the TV show where you're buried alive and you can't even get out of your house. You can be an average person in America specifically, but it could be anywhere in the world. And you got 70 to 80% of the items that you own are not being used. And that's why storage units are $1 billion business. And that's why 70% of the US economy is based on consumerism. You buy stuff and then you have a house you keep stuff in. And then it's very hard mentally to get rid of that stuff. It's just something I experienced. And so sometimes I would take stuff from one closet, whether it's clothes or whatever, from one closet to another closet and back and forth, the baseball cards to here to there. And then eventually when I had got ready to closer and closer to selling my house and putting my house on the market and getting a contract on my house, then I just said, to go forward, I have to get rid of this stuff, whether it's clothes with the tags on them, baseball cards, stuff that my parents gave me, whatever. I had to throw it out. The emotional attachment is huge. So I want to try to communicate verbally the mental pain that I understand that people feel and why we can't let stuff go. Do I have an answer? Tell me how to get to where you went. Someone would say to me, and all I can say is, look, you got to just cross the threshold of mental pain. Not easy. You got to take that trash bag. You got to throw stuff out. I do not recommend selling stuff on eBay. That causes more mental pain. The logistics, the listing process, the shipping process, dealing with people if they don't like it. I don't recommend giving it to friends. You'll be waiting for friends to come pick up your stuff for another 10 years. And I don't recommend, I tried to give some stuff to Salvation Army, and planning that sometimes can be a whole process. If you want to put some bags and give it to Goodwill, look, I'm not against that. I'm all for helping people. But at the end of the day, you have to throw a lot of stuff out, and some of it's going to be perfectly good. And I don't want to speak too rough because I understand the pain. But all I can tell you is tie that knot. And at garbage night, when they come pick up your garbage at your apartment or house, or if you have a dumpster, just throw it in there and don't look back. Throw it in there and don't look back. There's pain, but afterwards, after a little bit, there's relief. And here's the final thing that I would say with regards to wanting to live a simple life, wanting to live a downsized life. If you get scared mentally that you feel you may need this thing again, remember this: there is always a Walmart. I have traveled up and down the entire east coast of the United States of America, and there is always a Walmart. There's always an opportunity to buy things. And what I can tell you is I live at a one bag, I live in my car, and you know the amount of times I buy things at Walmart that I need? 10% of the time. And you don't need much. Now, I'm not saying you should live like me, live out of your car, live out of one bag. But even if you want to live a simpler life, there's a mindset, there's a principle, there's a sympathy, there's an empathy for the pain that you feel. I've been there. I felt that pain. And I don't want to minimize your pain. You're not crazy. You're not being delusional. It's very hard. Very hard. I mean, I really actually didn't have compassion on my mom. She's a little bit, not a hoarder, but she's a little bit more of a pack rat than I am. And I remember when I was young and she was trying to sell her house, and I was like, Mom, just throw this stuff out. It's all garbage. And I remember, like, not being sympathetic because I had never experienced the mental pain of, having a house and having stuff and having it for years and then having to get rid of it. I was young. I was immature. And now as I get older and I've experienced that in my life and I realize not many people can do what I did, now I know the pain my mother felt. And I think as you get older, hopefully you become a little bit more empathetic. I'm still saying that you should still throw it out. Even with empathy, you got to be a little bit firm on yourself, but loving on yourself and loving on others. But to go forward, you got to just, the grace of God be with you. But that's what I say. Get a contractor rated 3 mil. 3 mil is the thickness of the garbage bag. And you just throw your stuff in it and you put it out there on garbage day, and it's going to be scary. It's going to be nerve-wracking. But you just remember that, to get to your new life, you have to leave your old life behind you. And if the worst case scenario ever hit, there's a Walmart everywhere. And if you're trying to live a simple life, you don't want to have a life with a lot of stuff. So don't worry about, you may have to spend money to buy something again, because you want to almost put yourself in a position in life where you're not working just for stuff. And you're not having a house with 2 bedrooms just for stuff. You're not having a 1,500 square foot house and you only use less than 500 square foot. You don't want a big house just so you can keep a lot of stuff. You want to live a simple life. You want freedom. You want less anxiety. Will you ever eliminate anxiety in life? No. But there is one thing that I have found through minimalism that has helped me. Less stuff equals less worries. Not no worries, not no anxieties, but less. And I want to make, and less worries, less anxieties to me means better quality of life. And I want that for everyone. Again, I'm not saying you should live like me. I know some people don't want to live like me, but I'm just sharing with you my experience and trying to really empathize with the mental pain of throwing stuff out, but trying to really encourage you to just keep pushing forward, keep throwing stuff out. Don't worry about listing it on eBay or Craigslist. Don't worry about giving it away. Don't worry about what anyone else has to say. Even I had friends say, Sam, look, I'll come take that. I said, look, I got to go forward. If you're not here within 24 hours, it's going in a trash bag. It's going, and that's, you have to be here before garbage day, because if you're not at my house before garbage day, it's going in the garbage. And that's the urgency that you have to live with to get stuff done. Or else you will be like many people, and it's not in judgment, but it's my life observation. Many people get to older age and they don't have the will, the intensity, or the energy to throw this stuff out because it's so overwhelming. So if you're middle-aged and if you're creeping up, in your 40s and your 50s, and you think like it's going to get easier as you get older, you're just going to acquire more stuff. And then you're going to have less energy. So it's going to get harder as you get older to downsize. Downsize now. Downsize now. Downsize when you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Downsize at middle age so that you can live your best quality life. Because as you get older, your mind is taking a beating. You don't want to keep putting all that pressure on your mind. And this is my experience. And this is what I want to share with you. If this video or if any of my videos help you, I appreciate it if you click the thumbs up button, share the video, and also subscribe. Every night on this YouTube channel, I go live. You can come in, you can join, you can leave a comment, and we'll go from there. Try to stay as positive as possible. Peace and love.